Hi, it's Lee here from Cistvaen, and thank you to Antichrist magazine for reaching out to us for this interview. So the first question is, please introduce Cistvaen to our subscribers. So I'm Lee. I founded the band in 2017. We're a sort of doom-laden atmospheric black metal band for fans of like Agarlock, My Dying Bride, Alcest, or like Winterfilleth. We're from the southwest of England, although I've now moved to London. I live in London now for like the last 4 years. I play guitar and I'm the primary songwriter. The other band members are Ed on drums, you've got James on bass, Mark on guitar, and Guy on vocals. What is the meaning behind the band name? Well, Cistvaen is a word that's used to describe a burial chamber that's found on Dartmoor, which is a huge, bleak and barren landscape national park in Devon in the UK, southwest of England. When I first visited the area, I found it to be like really inspiring for writing this kind of atmospheric music. So I looked for inspiration in something that I could find around Dartmoor to name the band after. And I discovered these small like stone graves. The word Cistvaen directly translates to chest grave because it's a small boxed shape stone grave with like a big stone lid that goes over the top of it. Can you tell us a little about At Light's Demise? So At Light's Demise is the name of our upcoming debut full-length album. It's going to be released on the 5th of April, and we're releasing it independently. It will be available on all the streaming platforms, so your Spotify, YouTube, Amazon, etc., iTunes. It is available right now on our Bandcamp to pre-order. So you can pre-order on CD. The CDs have actually arrived. I was given my copy yesterday, so I'm really happy with how they've turned out. So you can pre-order that CD, or you can pre-order the digital version of the album. And we are getting vinyls done, and you can pre-order these. These will probably be available a little later in April. You know how it is with vinyl. There's always delays with pressing them, but they are definitely getting made. So the album itself is around 60 minutes long, and it's full of emotionally charged, epic and melodic atmospheric black metal. Not too dissimilar to, as I said earlier, like Agarlock, Alcest or Winterfilleth. And sometimes we venture into more of a death doom territory, akin to bands such as like My Dying Bride or even Swallow the Sun. The production on the album is very modern, which you might not expect from this genre usually. We've gone for a much more grand approach where all the elements of the music can be heard clearly in the mix. Josh at Stage 2 Studios in Bath has done a really outstanding job producing the album. You'll clearly be able to hear some fantastic bass lines, dynamic drumming, beautiful lead guitar melodies, and Guy's harsh vocals are so clear in the mix that you can actually hear the lyrics that he is uttering despite the extreme vocal style. Can you talk about the lyrics on this release? Well, personally, I don't write any of the lyrics. I've contributed a couple of song titles. I came up with the song title for Cessation of Hope and The Blind Observer, but beyond that, Guy, our vocalist, he takes care of all the lyrics and all the other song titles. We don't like to be too direct when discussing our lyrical themes, just as we think that the listener can take their own meaning from the lyrics without being dictated to. But generally the themes include the loss of hope, the sadness, the thoughts, the memories, the anger, the doubts, and the questions that can sometimes come to us at the dead of night. And Guy tends to conjure up his lyrics in the middle of the night, in the early hours, around midnight. All the lyrics have been thought up around that time of day, or night even. But what I can say about the lyrics, as I am not the lyric writer, is that I find them to be very thought-provoking, very beautiful, melancholic. Sometimes the lyrics really resonate with me, and I can reflect on my own experiences and connect with the lyrics. I'm not even really much of a lyrical person. When I'm listening to other music, I tend to listen to the instruments and guitars as a guitarist myself, and I don't tend to pay attention to lyrics that much. So the fact that I find Guy's lyrics to be so intriguing and they really do draw me in, that should say something about the quality of the lyrics on this album. Can you tell us a little bit about the album cover art? The artwork was done by a Romanian artist called Luciana Nedelia, and this painting was made in, I think, maybe 2017 or 2018. She's also done some other artwork you might recognize, like Star Mourner by Ghostbath. I hope you can see that past the glare of the lights. It wasn't commissioned by us, but rather she created the piece and she was looking for someone to buy the license. And I was strongly drawn to the artwork. I really found the figure with the crescent moon staff to be quite intriguing and mysterious, as well as the unfortunate person lying in the lake who seems to be having his soul sucked from his body. When I looked at it, it just made me wonder who these two individuals were, how they ended up there, how did that guy end up in the lake, who's this mysterious figure with the staff, and what does this entity want with his soul? Is it a Grim Reaper? The piece is actually called Soul Collector, and I also just love the setting, with the pine forest in the background and the unsuspecting, likely sleeping village that you can see. So I bought the license and we've been saving this image to use for our debut album for all these years. We've been holding on to it. We chose not to use it for our EP, and instead we had something commissioned by Hester Asplund, who is a phenomenal artist as well. Check her stuff out. And I've had the original artwork framed and I've had it hung up on my wall. I'll just show you that quickly. Hopefully you can see past the glare. I'll just move it around so you can see it. But this is the original artwork, and it's been hanging on my wall for about 6 years. Is that right? What year is it now? 2024. Yeah, around six or 7 years I've had this piece of artwork, and it's acted as like an inspirational beacon to work towards, because it's there staring me in the face, and I'm like, yeah, we need to complete this album, and here we are. We've completed it, and now it feels incredible to see the artwork like actually on a physical CD. The artwork doesn't directly represent anything that Cistvaen is sort of writing about or writing lyrics about per se, but the mood of the piece definitely matches the mood of the music. What do you do for your livelihood outside of music? Well, personally, I'm an animal care assistant at a dog daycare center, and I just love the juxtaposition of being like a black metal person, a metalhead, but I work with many dogs. There's I can have up to like maybe 80 dogs in the field that I'm working at, and I'm looking after all these cute fluffy puppies. But I have my my long hair and my beard. It's basically somewhere that our clients send their dogs whilst they are at work, or maybe they've gone away on holiday and we just look after the dogs for them whilst they're gone. When did you first discover your interest in metal music? My dad's always been into rock and heavy music since the 70s and 80s, with his favourite bands being like Led Zeppelin, Jimi Hendrix, Metallica, Pantera, Machine Head, that kind of thing. I think as an 8-year-old kid or somewhere around that age, I browsed through his CD collection and I found Metallica's S&M live album, the one that they did with the orchestra. And in particular, my mind was blown at Kirk Hammett's solo in the song One. I was also massively into Final Fantasy at the time, and I remember thinking that this music would make awesome like boss battle music. On the S&M album, I loved how the orchestra added an extra dramatic dimension to the music, and that led me down a path to discover bands like Nightwish and other power metal. And then slowly over time, my tastes became more extreme, but I've always been interested in music that is melodic in some way. What obstacles have you faced as a musician, and how did you overcome them? Well, For me, it's more of a mental battle, confidence in my own ability as a songwriter. I tend to put myself down and give myself a lot of negative self-talk and compare myself to other artists. There's an interview with the guys from Heavy Metal Entertainment from when we played Warhorns in 2019. And when I watch that back now, I can see how I'm constantly putting myself down, talking about how, oh yeah, well, we're rubbish, we're not very good. I'm saying things like that throughout the interview, and it's kind of, it's kind of painful for me to watch now, because I've worked on myself a lot since then to not allow my negative self-talk to kind of come out outwardly. So I've tried to overcome this by, I listen to a lot of sort of self-help kind of podcasts, and it's a mental battle. There's psychological techniques that I've learned to kind of suppress and silence those negative voices in my head which are doubting my ability. And now I've just learnt that I should just do what I like to do. I love to write music for Cistvaen, and I love to play with the band, and that I should just learn to enjoy the process, which I think I am. This whole album release so far has been going very well. I'm really enjoying, the whole recording process, and the lead up to the release in April. It's been very exciting and very enjoyable. Is there a specific non-metal genre or artist you'd love to collaborate with? Well, actually, my fiance, she writes incredible melodic drum and bass music, and she's talked about wanting to remix one of our tracks into a drum and bass track. So I'd really love to see how that turns out. So if you're watching this and you happen to enjoy drum and bass music, check out Lunatronic. That's the name of her. That's her artist name. She's got some amazing tracks out already on Spotify. But otherwise, in terms of like larger, more well-known artists, I think Perturbator would be an awesome artist to collaborate with. Most of us in the band are huge fans, and I think a Perturbator like kind of version of one of our songs would sound really awesome. Perturbator did do that really cool version of Alcest's song Sapphire, so it showed that synthwave and black gaze could come together to make something new altogether, like synth gaze or black wave. I don't know. And there's other artists like Abstract Void who are blending these two genres as well. I think that combination has got some potential. I'm not sure anyone's quite truly nailed it yet, a combination of like black metal and synthwave, but I've heard a few pretty compelling songs that shows it could work if a few things were just tweaked and figured out. I think that could be a pretty cool genre mashup. How do you perceive the evolution of black metal over the years? Well, obviously it started as like a pretty underground, dark, satanic niche genre that gained a cult following. Personally, I'm not big into that wave of black metal. I'm definitely interested in the black metal that kind of combines those tremolo guitars, blast beats, harsh vocals with other elements. So like, you've got Dimmu Borgir with symphonic black metal, Behemoth do blackened death metal, Moonsorrow with blackened folk metal, Agalloch with atmospheric black metal, Alcest black metal and shoegaze to make black gaze. Like bands like Shining or Thy Light or Ghostbath is like depressive suicidal black metal or DSBM. And then Deaf Heaven comes along and just flips the table and releases Sunbather, and that's like post black metal. And then even more recently, you've got like bands like Lorna Shore or Mental Cruelty that are doing blackened deathcore, two genres I never would have imagined coming together. And I think that works really well. And like I mentioned before, there's some artists even mixing black metal with things like synthwave, such as Abstract Void. It's become a really varied and versatile genre, and loads of artists are experimenting with the black metal elements and mixing it with all sorts of things, and some things work and some things don't. And I'm finding it all very exciting and interesting. And also just a shout out to the UK black metal scene at the moment. It's really very healthy with bands like Winterfillith, Fen, Abduction, Argesk, Andraka, The Infernal Sea, Offness, Atclash, Wolven Crown, Devastator, Ante-Inferno, Vehement, and The Sun's Journey Through the Night, and Ninkharsag, and there's loads more coming through. It's really healthy. It just seems to have got a new lease of life, and it's enabled some incredible festivals to occur in our country, such as Fortress Festival and Cosmic Void, both of which have dedicated black metal lineups, and they book some incredible exclusive shows attracting fans from all over the world. Rapid fire section just for fun. Guitar shredding or drum blast beats? Guitar shredding. Memorable concert you've attended? Agalok last year at Prophecy Fest. It's in a cave in Germany. Like, I don't think any concert will ever top that, with Agalok being my favorite band. They basically reformed after, I think, 8 years away. It was just the most incredible experience. Nothing will top that. Mosh pit or crowd surfing? I've crowd surfed a few times and it's fun, but mosh pit all the way. 12 a.m. studio session or 6 a.m. rehearsal? I think out of those two, I would choose a 6 a.m. rehearsal. I'm a bit more of a morning person, and you can just get up, get it done, and get on with your day. What's your guilty pleasure song? Every musician or fan has that one non-metal song they love. For me, I guess Castles in the Sky by Ian Van Dahl. I love a bit of cheesy 90s trance. And finally, what are the future plans for Cistvaen? Thank you. For Cistvaen, we're going to be promoting the hell out of this debut album. We are releasing it independently, so it's up to us to get the word out there. So that's our number one priority at the moment. But when things die down after the release, we'll be working on writing new material. I've already got 6 songs that are structurally kind of finished and ready to bring to the band, so everyone can put their 2 cents into the song. We'll also be looking to support the release of our album through doing shows and gigs as much as we can. It's quite difficult with us all living so far away from each other and work commitments, etc. But where we can, we will arrange shows and try to target cities that we've not played before. I'd love to play Birmingham, for example. Not played there yet. We have some shows that are already booked. So we've got Plymouth on the 23rd of March, opening up for Conan at Doom over Plymouth. We've got the 29th and 30th of March. We are playing 2 shows with Stalsag and Argesk, and they are in Nottingham and Leicester, respectively. And then in May, on May the 4th, be with you, Star Wars Day, we are playing Southwest Heavy Fest in Bridgewater, which has headliners Infernal Sea on the day we're playing, and we are really excited for all of these shows. It's been several months since we've played live, so we're really looking forward to it. The dream would be to play some bigger festivals like Fortress Festival I mentioned earlier, or Bloodstock Festival on the New Blood stage. Maybe we could organise a more of a proper tour. And with Mark now in the band, I think we have a few more connections in Europe. So we could even potentially look into playing a one-off show in Europe, maybe a festival appearance or something. But these are all just ideas and dreams that we've got to work towards. So nothing's set in stone yet, other than those 4 gigs that I just mentioned. So that's it. Thank you very much, Antichrist Magazine, for reaching out to us to do this interview. This has been lots of fun. And if you're watching this in the UK, I hope to see you at one of those shows I mentioned. And don't forget, you can go to our Bandcamp, cistvaen.bandcamp.com, and you can pre-order At Light's Demise, our debut album. Thank you so much in advance if you decide to do that. Bye for now.